Metcalf motions left. From the gun, here's Smith. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That could be the stop this defense needed to get them back on track. They've been pretty well dissected by the offense here in the first half. After that possession, now they know that they can compete with this offense.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. And they'll send the slot in motion left. They snap it to Smith. Oh, tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. It's Roger McCreary with a pick. And the Seahawks are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. And a penalty accepted, and they move the ball forward.
Check 58.
Metcalf motions left. Smith throwing again. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25.
It's a gain of 23 yards. First down, Seahawks.
Now Geno. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And they will finally run him down, but not until he brings this one all the way back down inside the 10-yard line. Well, he's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein.
Touchdown! Calvin Ridley with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Titans will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. That could be an important swing right there. A touchdown in the final minute of the half to take the lead.
And I like the point you just made there. Could be an important swing because now that they have the lead, if they can carry that into the locker room at the half, they'll feel really good about what they accomplished in the first 2 quarters.
Folk connects on the extra point, and the lead is now 2. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. With his slim deficit closing in on the end of the first half, we'll see if they can move this at least into field goal range and try to get 3 out of this drive. Trying to shake off the interception, he'll look to throw. And this one's incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
Smith, an incomplete pass on first down. Now it's 2nd and 10.
13 next.
Back to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
This defense has passed its first 2 tests by forcing back-to-back incompletions. They know there's probably another throw coming on 3rd down. Let's see if they decide to force the issue by sending people on a blitz.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Smith. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. That third down conversion good for 23.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
Throwing again is Smith. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Well, it hasn't been a banner first half for the defense trying to cover him today, but they'll take that one right there, helping force that incompletion.
Second and 10. Here's Smith. That is taken in by the tight end Fant. Down the right sideline. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Noah Fant as the first half is winding down. And the Seahawks have taken the lead here in the final stages of this first half. Pretty good response. They had given up the touchdown and the lead, but they struck back.
And I love the way that they just saw it happen, took a quick exhale on the sidelines. So let's go get it back and fast. Let's go ahead and throw the ball downfield and get our own 6 points.
A huge chunk play to regain that lead. And he will dive into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is successful. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Tennessee offense about set and ready to go. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Back to throw, it's Levis. Pressure comes, he's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21.
49, Mike 49. Hey, mayday, mayday, mayday.
Here's Levis. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
One final shot before the half. Here's Levis. Flush to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in. Time for a break. We've hit halftime. 2 quarters down, 2 still remain. We step aside. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a nifty return there all the way across the 40.
Well, this has been a close game throughout, but that return can help them gain the separation that they've been seeking throughout the game.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember in that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
And they went to the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
Sticking with Walker on second down. Fighting his way through contact. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Walker with another carry. Jerome Baker there on the tackle. 2nd and 9. Throwing is Smith. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Noah Fant, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks are able to extend their lead.
For a big tight end, he can sure move like a slot receiver when he gets a head of steam going. And as a defensive back, you've got a big decision to make when he's moving like that.
The Seahawks offense staying put out on the field. They're going to go for 2.
Middle. 53, 53.
Gino's going to throw. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. So they go with the pass, and it works there on the 2-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on 2-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational, and you have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in a 2-point conversion, but the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a 2-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome, a little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
2nd down and a little more than a yard here. Levis sets up to throw here. Again to Calvin Ridley, and he's got it once more. through the middle of the field and into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Calvin Ridley, 60 yards. And the Titans have cut it back within a score. It's been quite the game for him individually. A trio of touchdown catches now.
So pick a route, any route. Whatever you want him to run, he's going to do it and do it well and end up in the end zone. This has really been fun to watch.
Extra point up and good by Folk. And they're within 7 now at 28-21. Folk now set to boot it after his guys put 6 on the board. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, they've got the lead here getting late into the third quarter. And the passing game for them, it's been terrific. We've seen that. But the rushing game, almost non-existent.
And with the lead and trying to finish this game off, they need the running game to come back to life. They need to get sparked that way, take some time off the clock, and keep the ball away from their opponents.
Here's Walker to start the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Throwing now is Geno. His throw incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
Metcalf motions left. Back to throw, Smith. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Amani Hooker. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. They were in the dime. They had 6 defensive backs there. So go ahead and throw it. He threw it, and it hurt him.
It's almost thrown into a blanket of coverage, isn't it? You talk about the best defenders you have are the defensive backs. 6 of them on the field. You're almost asking for trouble, and that's exactly what they ran into. Ended up throwing a pick 6.
Yeah, 6 defenders and 6 points. Folk connects on the extra point, and we are all tied at 28. So right back to square one, tied at 28 as he kicks it away. And we will not have a run back here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. They're going right back to Walker. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. from the 34-yard line. Here's 2nd and 9.
Here we go, here we go. No ball, no ball.
Now Smith. Throw out wide to Walker. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
Well, we say it often, Charles, but not all interceptions are created equally, and that is a big one here in a tie ball game in the fourth quarter.
And, Brandon, when games are this close, it usually comes down to the team making the fewest mistakes, and that was one of our mantras back at Tennessee. Coach Mears used to say all the time, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. You've got to cut those down to give yourself an opportunity.
Like 54, like 54.
Levis back to throw. He completes it to Ridley. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 35.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. He'll get 6 on the ground there, and it'll be 2nd and goal coming up.
That's good hard running right there on 1st and goal. That gets him down to the 2 and puts a lot more pressure on that defense.
Here now, 2nd and goal. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got it 2nd and goal as they look to grab a late lead. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Pollard trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And he's taken down, and that'll get him a little bit closer. But every yard at this point will help your field goal kicker out. But defensively, that's a nice stop there on 3rd down here in the 4th quarter. Now, offensively, kicking the field goal, taking the lead, right?
It certainly appears that way, doesn't it? Especially since you got stopped on the previous play. But if you've got something you really like, something that you've practiced all week, and you think, hey, this is the time to use it, this is the play, I wouldn't be deterred. I would gamble a little bit and go for it right now.
So here's Nick Folk in an important spot. This to take the lead here in the final minute. Folk's kick is good. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Here's 1st and 10. Here's Smith. Oh, and a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game.
2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. Smith's going to throw it. As it complete to Jackson Smith-Njigba. And he is going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout. Smith.
He hits his target, Lockett. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock stops with 23 seconds to go in the game.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Strike, strike. There we go, Simone. Snowball, snowball. There we go, Simone.
Smith to throw.
To the end zone, but it's incomplete. A couple extra defensive backs out there in the dime, and because of that, really not many places to throw the football, if any.
And typically, what would you want to do against that dime?
Run the football.
You want to run the ball, but you can't do it in this situation. Not nearly enough time on the clock. You having to really navigate against a tough.
And he's got it. It's caught for a touchdown. And they have taken the lead here in the final seconds.
Charles, that drive was perfect, methodical, executed so well, and they grabbed that lead with almost no time left for a last gasp from the other side.
No way you could have drawn up a better final drive, because not only did they keep their eyes on the end zone, but they made sure they bled the clock out as well and denied their opponent a chance to respond. That's just terrific situational football to end this one.
The Seahawks offense staying put out on the field. They're going to go for 2.
Look. On.
Smith. And this one's caught. And their 4th quarter lead grows by a couple more. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it, because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius, as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. This is 1st and 10.
Like 46.
Levis, he'll look to throw it.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. They've got to burn the timeout, and they do, but a costly, costly sack. And now maybe just time for one final play.
Here's 2nd down.
Here we go.
Here's Levis.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
One final try here for Will Levis.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, this is getting close to a no-win situation now. They've got one final shot. They're on their end of the field, and it's 4th and long. This might require a little extra razzle-dazzle to get it done.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. Complete to Boyd. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line.
Well, it took us until the final